Welcome back to another lesson of East Main 101. I'm your facilitator, City of Jackson, Tennessee Communications Director Kenneth Cummings. And for today, lesson 37, I am joined with the new director of the Carl Perkins Civic Center, LaShune Hicks. LaShune, welcome to East Main 101.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you about the Carl Perkins Civic Center. It is the venue currently here in the City of Jackson, and you run every square inch of it. So
Yes.
I'm excited to talk to you about it. So before we start, I like to talk to our guests just about them. Who's LaShune? How's LaShune? Why is LaShune? Talk about LaShune.
Well, I was born and raised here in Jackson. I've been here all my life. Um, I have one child and a husband. I've been working for the Civic Center ever since 2006.
Okay.
I've been working for the city since 1999. Yes.
So what did you do before you worked at the Civic Center?
I worked at Westwood first.
Okay.
I started at Westwood in 1999. Then in 2006, I was transferred over to the Civic Center.
Okay. So about LaShune, you say you're born and raised here in Jackson.
Yes.
What high school did you go to?
I went to JCM.
Okay.
After JCM, I attended Phoenix University, where I got a bachelor's in criminal justice, and I've just been going from there.
So I asked some of my guests who come on who are from Jackson and now working for the city, did you ever think that you would be working for the city that you grew up in?
Not in this capacity, I did.
So when you started at Westwood, what were you doing there and how did you get to Westwood? What made you get there?
When I first started at Westwood, I was working as the secretary at Westwood. Then I went into programming. I just applied, and I actually was like a part-time job. I just wanted a part-time job. So I applied at Westwood, and I got hired. And I started as a secretary. Then I went to programming. Then I worked under Jimmy Kidd and Faye, and I went from programming to teaching computer classes to helping out with Miss Sandy McDermott and Special Pops. And
So from Westwood, it's one of our community centers here in the city. What drew you? Say it was part time. What drew you there? You just wanted to work. Did you want to work for the city, or is it just something you want
I
to apply
did want to work for the city. Plus, I enjoy working with the public and working with kids, so that kind of drew me to Westwood. And so once I got into got the feel of working with kids, and I enjoyed working with the public, I stayed.
So from Westwood Community Center to the Civic Center, you said you moved over there in 2006.
Yes.
What made you want to transition to that role, or were you asked to?
I was asked to transition over there. I started at the Civic Center in the box office.
Okay.
And I stayed in the box office. Then I went from the box office to downstairs as a building attendant.
Okay.
Then I went from a building attendant to the administrative specialist. Then from there, I became the director.
So I got here, and I know people who watch this, listen to this, are tired of hearing me say this, but I got here in 2010. So when I got here, the Civic Center it had the box office, but it wasn't really the main place to go to get tickets or whatnot. But I know now there are certain organizations who, when they use the Civic Center, they use the box office. Talk about the Civic Center between 2006 and I guess now. How different is it, and or is there any difference to the Civic Center?
There's a tremendous difference.
Okay.
First of all, we don't have the box office. When I started working, we did, like I said, we had the box office. We sold out of Tix.com. We sold hard tickets. Then people started using online companies like Eventbrite, and it kind of faded away. Okay. So the box office slowly faded away. So as far as the difference between 06 and now is that we have tripled in events.
Okay.
Tripled. I mean, we are like back to back. I don't think since the whole 19 years I've been working there, this year has been the most busiest year ever.
So we talk about it and we joke about it, or even when we're out talking to people, the Civic Center is booked up until, I mean, let's just say 2 years ago, we would say, oh, the Civic Center is booked all the way to 2027 or to 2028. How far along, off the top of your head, do you know the Civic Center is booked up?
I have events that come annually that's already booked out to 2030.
Wow, 2030.
Yes.
That's 5
2030,
years from now.
Yes. 2030 has probably, give and take, maybe 40 events.
So we talk about the Civic Center. Like I said, it's the venue, the biggest venue here in the city of Jackson currently, and we say currently because of the things that under this administration, things that our mayor is hoping to grow here in the city. But the Civic Center, it was built in. Do you remember? It was
1960.
So it was built in 1960s.
Yeah.
So from 1960 all the way to now, the city has gone through tornadoes and storms, but that building has stood
Yes.
proud here in downtown Jackson. For it to be how old it is, can you talk about some of the events and things that you hold where people still enjoy coming, still enjoy the fact that they can use that building?
Now, we have, since I've been working there, we have Pat Brown, the recitals, Pat Brown, ballet arts, the pageants. When I first started working there, it was one pageant. Now we have went from one pageant to 4.
That is
We
true.
have 4 pageants a year now. So, I mean, we have all the annual events like the fundraiser, Dream Center, Community Foundation, Healthcare, USJ Holiday Mart. That's a big
one.
event.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I know one event that happens, I'm not sure how long it's been, but my wife, she works for Jackson Cheer Company, and they hold their showcase there. I've been going maybe about 3 years now with her, and it's a big event. The parents of these cheerleaders, they compete competitively. They come in droves and watch their daughters and sons showcase for their upcoming season. For you, who at first you were administrative assistant, so you would see all the people come in.
Yes.
Did you? I guess again, you worked at Westwood, so you had that people connection. When people come into the Civic Center, how did that make you feel to know that there are citizens from here in the city of Jackson and around West Tennessee, around the state of Tennessee, who come in there and still want to use the Civic Center?
Oh, it makes me feel grateful. That's my main thing is if I can make the people happy, if they can leave at the Civic Center happy, I've done my job. And I am very, very impressed of how people like to use the Civic Center, wanting to come to the Civic Center. I mean, I feel grateful.
And it's a big building. I guess back in the 60s, I bet it was like the best building, state of the art. But in 2025, there have been upgrades to the Civic Center, and we're grateful for them. We're going to talk about those. But again, for over 50 years, there have been events that have come who are still going about the pageant. When you talk about prior to what it is now, it was a Miss Tennessee pageant. It is now Miss Tennessee Volunteer, and they do hold Tennessee America teen, and they do hold, I think, one of the preliminary ones here as well. To see all those people coming in and utilizing, we're going to talk. Let's talk about your staff. That building, it's huge. It takes a staff to make sure it's clean, bathrooms, floors, everything. Talk about your staff and how they make that Civic Center somewhere welcoming to the people who come and use it.
First of all, I must say I have the best staff in Jackson.
Okay.
Those guys and ladies, they make it happen. I have a very small staff, but they make it happen. They clean, they set up. People don't understand what goes on behind the scene.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it without those guys and ladies. They are my backbone. they make it happen. They set up. When people come in the building, everything is already done. Everything is clean. Everything is set up. But people don't understand what it takes to get to that point.
Right.
So I have an amazing staff, and I would tell anybody I cannot do it without my staff. I need my staff, and they are amazing.
You know, I've watched. You know, we talk about, like I said, the upgrades. When I first started with the city, I didn't know. You know, when it comes to pageants, it would just be like, oh my gosh, this place is amazing. All this stuff is already set up. You know, of course, you have the people who are bringing in the event. They set up their, but the risers and, like I said, the backdrops and the lighting and the curtains, everything inside the Civic Center before that organization brings their things in, your staff handles it. I remember the first time I took that floor down to the basement because I had no idea where the risers were. Took that floor down to the basement and just sat and watched how many man hours and how many people it took to make sure that those risers were in place safely and connected and things like that. But soon we'll have some new ones.
Yes.
And apparently they say that it's going to be a lot nicer.
Yes.
They say it's going to be a lot easier to put together, and they'll be, I guess, made for the Civic Center. Talk about some of those upgrades that you've seen since you've been there in 2006.
Well, of course, obviously, it's the risers. That's the biggest upgrade. The previous risers we had, you know, they were old. They had been there for a while, you know, wear and tear on them. But these new risers, they're more modernized. They look good. They are. It should take where it took the crew at least 2 to 3 days to put in the old risers.
Say that again, because I don't think people, like you said, people don't know how much it took. 2 to 3 days.
2 to 3 days, depending on how the risers. I mean, sometimes it took 4.
Depending on if that elevator
if they want to
worked.
cooperate,
Right.
Yes. So now with the new risers, it should take maybe less than 8 hours.
Okay. So again, we talk about the staff and it takes to, again, that was the biggest thing, getting those risers up from the floor, set up, go back down, get another one, set it up. Your staff and crew to make that work over 3 days. For them, how is it when you see them working? What do you see in them? And then what kind of motivation do you give them to, hey, come on back to work the next day?
First of all, I see hardworking guys. Those guys work tremendously hard. People don't understand. It takes time. It takes patience with those risers, the previous risers. And I will always try to encourage them by, you know, if those guys have to come to work after hours, well, guess what? I'm going to show my face as well.
Okay.
I try to lead by example, and you know I always thank them because, like I said, they don't have to do it, and they don't have to work as hard as they do, but they do. They work hard without even me asking. They take the initiative to do things on their own, and they do it great. And the way I encourage them, I try to treat them all fair. I treat them like I expect them to treat me. You know, they are grown, and I treat them with respect, just like I expect them to treat me. And I try to always encourage them. You know, every now and then, I throw a lunch here and there. I throw something in them, like a lunch or something. But I just like, I would tell them every day how much I appreciate them. We have a morning meeting every morning.
Okay.
And I make sure I let them know, hey guys, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you guys do.
And that shows the mark of a great director, a great leader. One particular one particular thing that I saw is how your staff works on the fly. We recently had an incident where we had to have a big press conference for media from all over the state, all over the country. I was actually in a PL meeting earlier today, and we talked about this particular thing and how someone reached out to somebody, and then they were like, we need a place to do it. Someone reached out to me, and I was like, let me call LaShune. I called you up, said, hey, here's what we need. Next thing I know, the stage is set, the speaker's set, the mics are set. The staff that you have, they truly do have a heart, passion behind making sure, one in particular, Kelsey, he is going to make sure that everything is to the T.
Yes.
T's crossed, I's dotted, and he will make sure, do you need anything? You need anything? You good? That's just how Kelsey is. I'm going to have him on one day. We're just going to talk. All of your crew, because he can't do it alone.
Right.
And the crew, it seems like everybody over there, they're going to work together to make sure that whatever needs to be done, whether it's a 2-day event that's going to happen 2 weeks away or something, if I need to call me like, hey, we need the stage real quick, it's happening. So shout out to your staff at the Civic Center. So for you as director of the Civic Center, it's a huge building. You got your staff. When you got the role as director, how did that feel? And again, not knowing that you would work for the city that you were raised in, how did that feel for you to be in that director position, coming from Westwood as a part-timer?
Well, it felt great. I felt blessed, like I said, grateful. And like I always tell everybody, I love my job. I love what I do. I love communicating with the people. I love making sure that everyone who comes in that building leaves out happy. I know I can't make everyone happy, but my goal is if I can make 9 out of 10 happy, I'm good with that. And like I said, I love what I do. I love my people. I love the community. So that makes my job real easy, makes me want to get up and come to work every morning.
Every morning.
Every morning.
So I remember, of course, you were there prior to being a director. I would see you everywhere. For at one point, I thought you were just like a director who just worked downstairs because you were with the guys, with the staff who was there with you. So I always joke with people. It's like LaShune knows this place inside and out. She runs this place even prior to you being the director. Shout out to Tosh. He was a great director. I love talking to him because he had a lot of knowledge.
He did.
What did you learn from Tosh prior to being in this director position? What kind of words of wisdom did he give on to pass on to you?
Tosh taught me patience.
Oh, you got to have patience.
You got to have patience.
Yes,
Tosh taught me patience. He taught me how to sit back, relax, and just let it flow. Do what you do the best you can do, and
Yeah, I've had to learn that. You do what you do with what you have.
Yes.
Those things you can't control,
Yeah.
You can't control the weather. You can't control a light that just so happens to go out. You can work to make it right. You can't control if plumbing and something happens in one of the bathrooms. You got to sit back. Okay, how can we make this right? How can we fix it?
Right.
How can we make sure the public, whether they don't know about it or we fix it to where they're good?
They're good.
So knowing that Civic Center inside and out, I'm sure you have. You've been in every room, every crevice of that Civic Center.
I have.
I've got I guess you could say, a favorite spot. Do you have a favorite place in the Civic Center that you just, if you had to just go somewhere and just breathe, is there a place in the Civic Center that you would go?
I would go at the very top of the balcony.
Okay.
And sit there with the lights out and just look around. Especially now, just look and take in all the changes that's been made since the first day I stepped into the building up until now.
And let's talk about that. Some of those changes, one of the major changes was, of course, the risers. But for those of you who have been to the Civic Center and haven't been in a while, a huge change has happened inside the auditorium. Talk about that, and because I know you were excited. Talk about your excitement about how that. Let's talk about the process of how that happened and your excitement for it.
First, we're going to give shout out to Mayor Conger. It was his idea. He was like, what about painting the auditorium black? I said, okay. So all I needed was the green light.
Mm-hmm.
So we called up the maintenance department, and I got to give shout outs to our maintenance department. Those guys are amazing as well. They worked hard. They painted that whole entire auditorium.
Yeah.
I mean, days in, days out. They took time away from their families, and they got it done, and they did an amazing job. I mean, it went from
Yeah,
1966
yeah, I remember
looking.
that brown, the brick, the
Yes,
exposed brick.
yes.
So what it is now, you walk in there now. Again, for those who
elegant looking.
haven't been in there since we've painted, you walk in there now, it feels like you're not even at the Civic Center.
Right.
The full black interior of the auditorium. And again, as communications director, I try to go to these different departments to see how they work. And I walked in that day, one of those days with the maintenance department. They had their not the forklift, but like the boom lift all the way at the top. And they were just, I mean, with their mask on, because I guess they were like spray painting it. And watching them work again, it's a big shout out to them.
Yes, they did an amazing job.
So I walked up, and now that I work for I used to do this back when I worked for the Sun. I would just traverse the Civic Center, just find doors and open them. I made it up to the catwalk to get a shot of them from the top, to actually be on the same level of them in the boom, looking down, seeing the floor, but just watching them, paint the Civic Center all black. For when one of the pageants came for it was one of the first events that happened after the paint was one of the pageants. Just walking in there, I mean, it's a different feel. So you talk about sitting at the top of the auditorium. So back when it was exposed brick, you could turn the lights out. But now, with it being dark, and if you were in there just sitting, just relaxing, it's a totally different feel.
It is.
So when you sit up there from 2026 to 2025, what is the feeling?
It's a good feeling. It's a feeling of achievement. It's like we went from looking from this ancient look to this modern look, and the people is impressed. The people who rent the building, they love it. It's like, I feel like it's not. I didn't do it. I didn't do it for myself. It was more for the community. The community like it. They are impressed with it. They're good with it. And it's like I said, as long as the people. My job here is to serve the community. So if I can do my job as serving the community, making them happy, giving them a place to enjoy, to entertain, to be entertained, sitting up there at the top of the balcony, I think about all that, and it's just a good feeling. Relaxing.
So for those organizations and nonprofits and those who do use the Civic Center, the ones who reach out to you and contact you, when they talk to you, give me some of the feedback that they give you on just the Civic Center as a whole.
First of all, they tell us now, the Civic Center is clean. It's clean. Your staff is amazing. They are helpful. Anytime you need anything, they own it. They impressed of the new look, the drapery. We have the new drapery.
Yes.
Everyone loves the drape, and everyone is just impressed. They are excited about all the new changes we've done, and they expressed it quite a bit.
And go back to your staff, another particular incident where I think it was one of the events I was there. And of course, working for the city, I've got phone numbers I can reach out. But even if I wasn't and I just knew the person, the staff member, how fast they responded to, hey, this needs a carpet over it, or hey, the riser just shifted a little bit. Is there something we can do to fix it? Or hey, the light went out or something. How fast your staff responds to making sure that particular incident didn't happen. I mean, it happened, I saw it, but if I turned away and turned back, it was fixed, or whatever it was gone.
That's how amazing they are. Like I said, they are amazing. Those guys, when they see something, or when they're asked to do something, they get on it. they just amazing. That's the only thing I can say about my crew. They are amazing. They're hardworking, and like I said, they the best crew. I wouldn't trade them for nothing. I wouldn't trade them for nothing.
So some of the events you have going on, you talk about some of the ones that are yearly. Talk about, I guess, some of the public events that happen year round.
You know. So of course, everyone knows we have the pageants. We have the USJ Holiday Mart. We have Black Tie Boxing. We have Black Tie Blue Jeans. We have the Symphony. The Symphony, they utilize the Civic Center at least 10 times a series.
Okay.
So their series start from April to like March to April, somewhere in that along that line, and they are there at least once or twice a month, and they call it the home of the symphony.
Okay.
So, and we have so many. You got the 100 Black Men. You have the Shriners. The Shriners come twice a year.
Okay.
I mean, we have several organizations.
So are there any that just popped up out of nowhere and say, hey, I want to use the Civic Center, or I guess any new concerts or events or nonprofits who reach out to the Civic Center that might not have that yearly schedule? Do they just be like, hey, this is a good place, I want to use the Civic Center?
Now we have hosted several weddings and wedding receptions. We haven't had any recent concerts this year, but we used to host several concerts. Travis Tritt, several blues concerts. We have a lot of meetings. People like to come rent for the meetings. So yes.
So you of course you've got the main auditorium, but people can use the front,
The lobby.
the lobby area. It's like a U shape, and then you've got conference and meeting spaces on the third floor. So it's a multi-use space here in the city of Jackson, and you as director, you are running that place. I mean, it's every time I go in, it's clean.
Thank you.
We talk about I talked about the cheerleading competition. My little girl, she was just crawling around on the floor, and one moment she just laid there, and I'm like, this floor is clean. She's good. She's not rolling around in dirt. It's just,
Thank you.
It's a nice, clean facility. LaShune, shout out to you. Shout out to the
Thanks.
Civic Center staff and all the things that y'all do there with bookings all the way to 2030. That says a lot about not just the building itself, but the people who make sure that building is maintained up to code and doing everything it needs to do to be comfortable for the people. Because that's who you're working for. You're making sure everybody who comes in there is good.
Yes.
So, LaShune, thank you again for coming on East Main 101. Look forward to all the things that are coming up at the Civic Center. And it's a pleasure to work with you and for the city.
Thank you.
So, of course, before we go, we call a pop quiz. It's just 3 questions that I ask my guests just to get to know them a little better. So, pop quiz question number 1. It's a question that just popped in my head. If you could see the world in one color, what would that color be and why?
I would see the world clear.
Okay.
Because first of all, we are all humans. We're here for different purposes. We have different, we all have our own identity, but I don't see color.
Okay. So, pop quiz question number 2. If there were one piece of advice you give to a young woman who wants to hold a director position like you, what would that piece of advice be?
Always treat people the way you expect to be treated. Be humble and have a passion for what you do. Because if you have a passion for your job, like I have a passion for my director's job, it will make your job easier.
Wonderful advice. And pop quiz question number 3. If there were one dish that you cook that you would put up against the best chef in the world, what would that dish be?
That I cook?
That you cook.
Oh, I don't do a lot of cooking, but I do bacon.
Okay.
So,
what baked good would you put up against the best baker in the world?
my sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie.
Yes.
I think I've heard someone talk about your sweet potato pie, and I haven't had it. I haven't tried it yet.
It's
So
great.
next
if I
time you
must
bake
say.
one, you save me a slice.
I will. I will.
Have a piece of that sweet potato pie. City of Jackson, Carl Perkins Civic Center Director LaShune Hicks. Again, thank you for coming on East Main 101.
Thanks for
I
having
appreciate
me.
it. So that does it for lesson 37 of East Main 101. Don't forget to follow us on all of our government social media accounts and opt in to our text alerts by visiting connect.jacksontn.gov. Also, be sure to visit eastmain101.jacksontn.gov to subscribe to our YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcast channels to listen to each lesson in its entirety. Until next lesson, class dismissed.